This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. There's been a lot of talk about what we're going to talk about today, but we're going to put a spotlight on it, go into a little bit more detail, and I'm talking about different dimensions and ascension. So we'll start here. Maybe you're feeling things are different in the last, 6 months, whatever, weeks, whatever it may be, where people that were in your life don't feel like they fit in your life anymore. Maybe you're moving in a different direction. Maybe you're moving toward a different dimension. What are we talking about? I know it's going to be a little woo here, but it's all good. She is somebody who practices the power of energy, understanding it. She is a Reiki master. She's a galactic shaman, animal healer, sound healer, and offers so much insight. And I've had sessions with her. Amazing what I felt after them. And also just understanding what we're talking about today. Our professional of the year, Shayna Blackmar, joins us once again on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm, transitioning between these working with these dimensions, so it's challenging.
So let's get really deep, but with understanding for everybody to really get this, because I'm a work in progress trying to figure it all out. So the third dimension has been around for quite some time now, but there are those that believe that some of us are moving to a fourth dimension and ultimately to this thing called the fifth dimension. And this is my understanding. So please, tell me if I'm on the page here. The fifth dimension is a plane, a dimension, if you will, of higher consciousness, more love. It's where you want to be. Where those in the third dimension, nothing wrong with that, but they're just in a different mindset, a different vibration. Am I describing this even relatively close to what it is?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to describe it. So in 3D, there are things that are possible that are a really low vibration that are not possible in 5D. And these dimensions are, essentially, um, a higher density, a higher vibration. So you don't necessarily go to a different place geographically, you rise up in frequency. Because there's some confusion with that. You're not actually going anywhere necessarily. And so things that are possible in 3D, like fear, greed, control, things like that are not possible in 5D. And so 4D is like it's kind of like considered a void or the transition in between. So as you're rising up and kind of going up from 3 into 4, popping up into 5 and then back down. So in 4D, it's actually where we can hit dark nights of the soul, because that's when we kind of, have these realizations that something wasn't what we thought, and it can really be heartbreaking. And we just have to let everything go, surrender everything, so that we essentially create space for the higher frequency, the higher perspective to come in, so we can rise up into 5D. And so 5D is, I've read about it being considered heaven on earth. Everything is love-based. So it's not that, I think we've talked about this a little bit before. It's not that there aren't challenges, but it's easier. There's not this huge polarity. And even, gonna go a little bit higher, there's even some of us going up into 7D already, helping anchor in higher vibration. And Earth was originally at 7D. Gaia was 7D in her original creation. So, those already going into 70 are helping anchor in that much more light to help everyone. Like there's access to so much higher frequency, so much higher perspectives if you choose it.
Wow. Never heard about seven. Had no
Yeah.
idea. I thought the ultimate destination was the fifth. And I didn't know that things like greed and all of that doesn't exist in the fifth dimension. What if you're feeling out of sorts and you're just feeling just kind of down? Does that mean that you were moving toward the fifth and you regressed to the third, or well, let me just say, and or could it be that you're realizing that those around you, many are in the third, but you were moving toward the fifth, and it's not aligning with who you are.
Yeah, there is this kind of friction feeling. That's the kind of best way I can think of to describe it, how it feels for me. As you're rising up and doing your work and things or people just don't feel good anymore. Whether it's irritating to go to that place that you used to love or um, to do that thing, or, maybe you used to have great conversations with someone and now not so much. Now you just want to get off the phone. It just doesn't, you don't click anymore. And that is again, like, we're magnetic beings. And so we come together with something when we're in the same vibration, whether it's an experience, a job, a relationship. And as we start rising and do our healing work, do sound healing, do Reiki, do all kinds of different modalities, and really raising your vibration in a lot of different ways. So you start rising up, and then there's this gap with the other things, and whether it's a person or a job or whatever, the person that you were aligned with has the choice to rise up as well or not. They may be going at a slower pace. They may not be waking up in this lifetime. That's okay. Um, but there's this friction that you're not in alignment anymore with what was. The key is to accept it, honor where the other person is at, honor that, what, that used to feel good to me, but it's not, you have to kind of find a new normal, and surrender and just let the other go that's in a lower vibration. And that creates space for much higher vibrational jobs, partnerships, relationships to come in. But they can't come in if there's not space. You have to
Mm.
let go of what isn't aligned anymore.
Well, therein lies the
It's without
challenge.
judgment, it's without judgment. It's without,
Yep.
it doesn't have to be aggressive or angry. It's just acceptance. Okay, that doesn't work anymore.
There's the challenge because it's tough to let that go because
It
that
is.
was you, that's your life. Maybe that's people in your life, and that was good then, but not
Mhm.
really feeling right now. And you're not feeling it right now. It's not you anymore. And friction, what a great word. I believe that describes it very well. Um, and you may even think that, well, I'm just, I'm weeding some people out of my life that don't support, this one's hard to say, but serve me anymore. Um, Somebody told me like years ago, not like 5 years ago, um, said to me, those people in your life, that group of people, they don't serve you anymore. And when I heard that, I was like, ew, that's dirty. That's just, I feel like this, pompous king on a hill saying, be gone with you. You don't serve me. But it basically means that they don't fit in your life anymore. But again, it's challenging to move in a different direction because you just let people go. That's less people in your life, and you thought it was a good thing then, but it's not feeling right now. Um, Shayna, how do you know that you're in the fifth dimension, or you got your toe in in the door of the fifth dimension? How do you know?
There's more synchronicities, there's more peace, there's more love, there's more higher vibrational experiences in your life. And I can kind of, I see how, you know, saying that doesn't serve you anymore, or that person doesn't serve you anymore, doesn't feel very good. So how about that contract is complete?
Ooh, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, because and this is not new. People come into our lives for, I don't even know when I heard this
Oh
when
my
I was
gosh.
little, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? So if it's just for a reason, it's a short time, that contract is complete, that lesson is learned. Maybe for a season, maybe a little bit longer, but then whatever y'all contracted to do and to learn and to help each other, then it's complete. And there's a fear of letting go of what we know, right? But I think what helps me the most is, acknowledging again, if you want to rise up, you want to rise up in frequency. If you're going to continue coming from fear, you're going to stay locked into 3D. So making the conscious choice of, okay, how can I come from love? What would be a love-based response or decision to make? And being okay with and shifting the perspective to from I don't know what's coming, that could be scary, to what do I want to create? I want more joy in my life. I want more love. I want more X, Y, and Z, and start creating from joy. And that is how you create your heaven on earth, is focusing on what you want to create rather than what isn't working. Does that make sense? Like you learn lessons
That's
and
crystal
then focus
clear,
on what you want.
crystal clear. And instead of wallowing maybe in the self pain and all of that of those people, the realization of, hey, they don't fit anymore. Nothing wrong with that. Life changes, people change, and all of that. Instead of focusing on, well, we used to do things together and now it's just not that the same. Push that to the side and focus on what you want. Create what you want. Go in that direction, because what I'm understanding from you, once you just push that over to the side, new people are going to show up, and they're going to be on your page now.
In alignment. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah. And then,
I truly believe what you said before, and it's such a cliche. People in your life for a season or a reason. And the more I look at it, just take a moment and just, even over the last number of years, who showed up, who's not there anymore. What I did for them, they did for me, in terms of the contract. And by the way, I wrote it down. That contract is complete. That's just a beautiful way, when you think about a soul contract. Um, some believe it was
yeah,
already predetermined.
you helped each other. It was beautiful and perfect. There's no guilt, there's no shame. It's okay, thank you.
Mm. I'll give you an example of that. And I only had this realization in the last year, but it was 4 years ago, exactly 4 years ago. Um, I had to get, I was involved with somebody, we're just friends doing things together, whatever. It lasted about 6 months. But just before we kind of went in our different direction, I was getting radiation for skin cancer. And I remember once hanging at their place, and kind of rough. It was like, and I actually got it right here. It's all healed, but it looked, like you just walk through a fire. Your face is dripping off your head. Not to be too graphic. And I remember hanging at their place, and they walk in. She says, "Oh my God, look at you. Let me help you with that." And she put a dressing on it and did all of this. She's a nurse. I never realized it. I helped her with some things, move forward through some challenges, and it just that I was in the moment. And as I look back a few years after it, it was like, that's why she was there. And I was going through some other challenges at that time as well, which made the radiation even more challenging for a month, and then the recovery. That's why she was in my life. I totally, and right after, I was done healing, a month after that, people just go in a different direction. That's what it was for. There's no doubt in my mind about it. That's the way it was
Yeah,
supposed to
y'all
be.
helped each other, and it was reciprocal and in two different ways. That's beautiful.
100%. Yeah. And no negativity. Yeah. She went on with her life. I went on mine. Then that's it. Um, how do you truly know that you're there? You're in the fifth. Is it a situation
Feeling.
you'll know when you know.
It's the feeling. It's just it's without drama. It's without um chaos. It's just flow and more love and more flowers, more beauty, just
Hmm.
within everything. And I wanted to kind of speak a little bit more about focusing on what you want because the universe doesn't recognize negatives. And so if we're saying, I don't want ice cream, we're actually putting energy towards, I want ice cream. I mean, that's kind of a silly example, but
Well, but
the,
it's not. Let's go with that. Let's look at that. Because it sounds very much, and I've studied and have done hypnosis with practitioners. This it sounds like the subconscious, where it doesn't know any better, but it wants to help you and support you. But your subconscious is kind of dumb, and it almost sounds like the universe, where you say, "I don't want ice cream. I don't want ice cream," but your subconscious is saying, "Want ice cream. Want ice cream." So it's going to support that, but it almost sounds
well,
like the
and then so
universe is like
anything
that.
we give our energy to, yeah, anything we give our energy to, we're feeding. So even if we're thinking, we're saying that we don't want it, we actually are because the universe doesn't recognize negatives. So it's just, a
The
shift in
same.
programming of how we think and talk makes a huge difference in what we create in our reality. So if we're saying, you know, I can't afford that, we are saying we can, but we're choosing not to. We're choosing lack.
Is it almost the same thing when you manifest something? You're doing all the right
Well, that's
things,
essentially what you're doing. Yeah, you're manifesting lack by saying I can't afford that or I am broke
or
versus saying I choose to spend my money on something else. I have abundance. I am taken care of.
and I will be moving forward. As opposed to somebody. Let's say you manifest a perfect job, perfect person, the car you want. Time goes on. You say, when are they going to show up? When am I going to have money? I'm doing the right thing. When? And you come from a place of lack and negativity right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Wow.
But yeah,
it
our energy goes wherever we're putting it. So the more you focus on the life you want to create, world peace and drama free and whatever it is, 5D.
should you always take the positive road? I'll give a hypothetical, throw this out here. Let's say there were people in your life, you all used to do things together, everything was great. And then maybe you look on Facebook, Instagram, and you see that they went on a trip, this group that you used to hang with. You guys used to do things all together, but they didn't invite you. And I'm like, well, what's up with that? And they're, posting pictures, everything's great and everything. Hypothetically, in this example, should you just wish them well? Hey, safe travels, have a great trip, and just let it go, as opposed to, you know what? It would have been nice if you invited me, blah, 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 because there may be a reason. Maybe they don't align with you, you don't align with them, and just let it go.
Yes, absolutely. I've come to understand that when things like that happen, it's actually for your protection.
Ooh.
Yeah,
If you
you've been saved from some drama or something that was definitely not for you.
please allow me to write that down.
Yes, you have been protected, you have been taken care of. And it
That
may not
gets
be, yeah, it
or
may not be clear right away, but at some point you'll realize, oh, I'm glad I'm not didn't go on that trip, or I'm glad I have made a new friendship or whatever. Oh, but that reminds me, I looked up the frequency of gratitude because we talk about how great gratitude is. Well, it actually um, registers up at the same frequency as love and joy. So up there at 500 to 550 hertz. And not only is it really high, gratitude has been proven to actually rewire the brain. So it's not cheesy. It's actually reprogramming you for higher frequencies, reprogramming you for love. So be grateful for everything. Find the silver lining in everything. It makes a difference. It's amazing. I thought that was really, really powerful.
Just wrote that one too. And it's so interesting that I share with you, I'm in a men's group, and been doing it for a couple of years. And I start pretty much every meeting with a moment of gratitude. And I encourage the men in the group to write down three things that they're grateful for. So last week, exactly a week ago, last Thursday, I gave every man in the group a gratitude journal. And I said, I'm investing in you. And minimal expense. You find them on Amazon, like $8 a piece. Last year for over a year and a half too. I'm still using the same one I bought. I don't even know when I bought it, 2024. But just that, because I believe in gratitude. I know sometimes it's tough, to be grateful, for even the little things. You might be having one of those days, but I believe it lifts you up. And not that you should be doing it for this reason. And I want your feedback on this, Shayna, but I've heard that when you're grateful for things, the universe is listening and it gives you more of those things, more just like it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because and from a vibrational perspective, you're staying in that higher frequency, meaning you're aligning with better experiences. And gratitude is also a really powerful transmuter. So again, another tool you can use to raise in frequency. If you're angry about something, find something in it to be grateful for. Like my daughter was really pushing my buttons one morning, and it took me a few minutes, maybe an hour to find the gratitude. But later I was able to see, okay, I'm grateful for her helping me be more compassionate, be more understanding, be more patient, more loving. And then just that simple act transmutes the anger into compassion, into love, into something so much higher and better. And then all of that low frequency just dissolves. It's so, so powerful.
Thank you. I got nothing else to say here. Thank you. This answers a lot, and I bet you, for me and many others, in terms of what's going on, how to reframe things. But I believe, and I know you've said this before, things happen for a reason. So, like, for your protection, that didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, totally.
But it did. It did. It went in your favor.
It went the way that was best for you. Yeah, it went the way that was best for you.
And the more and more you ride higher on
Totally.
things, or as mom used to say, take the high road, there you realize it even more. How do we connect
Yeah,
with
and
you?
it's all like without judgment, without criticism.
Not at all.
So
Not at all. What's your website, Shayna?
it is Vurusha.com, Vurusha.
Thank you again for today. Like little nuggets of insight. I truly appreciate it. Looking forward next time we talk.
You're welcome. Yeah, the more we can all share and use these tools, the better.
And I'll see you in the fifth.
Absolutely. Let's go.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.